Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're talking about what's happening in the real estate market. We've seen a lot of changes now that the holidays are over and we're settling into the new year. We've seen quite a massive amount of changes in the market. We're seeing buyers jump back into the market. We're seeing new listings come on board, and we're also seeing changes in interest rates and just what's happening in the market overall with days on market, listing prices, and what homes are actually selling for based on what they're listed at. So we're going to talk about all that here in this video today. We're going to cover a lot. If you guys are thinking about moving here or you already live in the area and you want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, please reach out to me, call, text, or email anytime. I love hearing from you guys. I've had hundreds of people reach out to me from videos just like this, and I cannot wait to hear from you who's going to be the next person to reach out. For everybody who has reached out in the last couple weeks, thank you so much. You know who you are. Thank you for being a supporter of the channel here. So we're going to jump on my screen here and talk a little bit about what's going on in the market. I want to start off this video like I almost always do. We're going to take a look at the 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So we're taking a look at just a standard conventional loan right here. As of today, interest rates are sitting at roughly 6.95%. As of January 24th, the day that I'm filming this. You can see that they have climbed over the last couple of weeks. We were down as low as about 6.5%, but previously to that, back in October, we were sitting about 8%. So it's pretty crazy to see how much the interest rates have changed and how this impacts what's happening in the market. Keep in mind that when you lock in an interest rate, you're typically buying a home in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks after that, right? So if you tie up a home, you go under contract and you put that home under contract today, you're going to typically lock in your interest rate pretty early on in that process, and then you'll be closing on that home roughly a month later throughout that process. So, taking a look at this interest rate and where it's at today, we're at 6.95%. Sometimes you're a little higher than that or a little bit lower. I've been typically seeing about 6.5% over the last couple of days. That seems to be about the going rate here in Utah for a standard conventional loan at this time. If we take a look at the FHA loans, you can see the interest rate here is closer. It's stating that it's actually closer to about 6.2% or 6.12%, but we're actually seeing closer to about 5.5 to upper 5% range for an FHA loan. If we jump back over here to this, you can see that, yeah, again, back in October, rates are about 8%. But if we come back here to about, roughly July, this is the last time we saw interest rates in this upper 6% range. So it's been about 6 months since we last saw rates in this range. Now let's jump over here and take a look at what's happening in the sales data. We finally have the full month of December. I'm a little bit behind on getting this video out, but we finally have a full month of sales data for December 2023. We had 2,540 home sales. Comparing to this time last year, we are actually only down very, very slightly on the number of home sales for the month of December. So that's actually encouraging to see that the sales are kind of steady year over year. Now, I do think that's going to change going into the spring, but we'll have to wait and see. Taking a look at the median listing price, you can see here it doesn't have the column headers. It's a little bit hard to see, but we had right here, if we zoom in a little bit, we had a median original listing price of $495 with a median sales price of $475. So this means that on your average typical home, you're looking at roughly 4% off of the original listing price for what the actual sales price is going to be. You can see that this number fluctuates. And again, this data set that we're looking at here, this is across all homes across the entire market. So you're looking at this, you're thinking, okay, if we go back here to last winter, we were at 92% right here, 94, 93, 94, 96. And you can see that it slowly starts to climb as we go into the summer months, and then it starts to fall off again, right? 98, 97, back to 98 actually in November. So the market was fairly strong there because home prices had come down just slightly. And then we were about 96%, and we're sitting at 97% for the month of January. So I think we'll probably actually hover around this 96, 97% for the next couple months. And as we get into March, April, May, we're probably going to be closer to 98, 99, maybe even hitting 100% here in the spring. We're going to have to wait and see what happens with interest rates and with prices and everything else, but I would not be surprised to see us climb back to this 100% mark by the time we get into full swing, May, June during the summer months. Taking a look at this last column right here, this is days on market. You can see that the days on market continues to climb. Again, kind of like the sales prices, the days on market typically falls during the summer and then will climb back up as we go into the winter. So sitting here at 40 or 45 for December and January is not concerning. We're actually still lower than what we saw last year. Last year, we're at 45 and 51. So homes are actually still selling a little bit quicker and they're moving a little bit faster than we saw last year. Right now, we're at 485, whereas compared to, January of last year, we're at 455, right? So prices are actually up. If you look year over year, this month of January is going to show that prices have actually increased. So when you go out there and you're looking at news articles or you're watching other videos, just keep in mind the sales data or the information that you're taking in is going to be skewed to tell a narrative, right? It's going to be able to tell a narrative based on what that person wants it to say. And I'm no different, right? I'm going to say stuff that is on here, and you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. I try to be as open and honest and transparent as possible, and that's why I'm bringing this up throughout the process. If you take a look at January sales data, they're going to say 455, and now we're at 485. They're going to say on average, your median priced home in Salt Lake City, Utah, rose $30,000 year over year, and they're going to make it sound like there's this huge price increase. Whereas if you actually just go back to, let's say, June, well, prices are down since June, right? So you really have to kind of be careful with how you take in that sales data and what it actually means for you, and just kind of really take it all in and make your own conclusion from that data that you receive. So taking a look at this, let's jump back over here to the number of home sales that we saw in January 2024. So far, I'm filming this here on the 24th of the month. So we've got roughly a week left in the month, and we're sitting at 1,382 home sales. And compared to last year, we hit 2,009. I think that probably this year we're going to sit somewhere around 1,800, maybe 1,900 home sales for the month of January, which is going to be down substantially. So although prices are up year over year, we are seeing the number of home sales actually decrease, which just means that there's a lot of stalemate in the market. There's not a ton of new listings, and there's not a ton of homes that are going under contract up until recently. I think February could actually be a total drastic change from what we've seen right now. 4 out of the last 5 offers I've made in the last couple of days have run into multiple offers. It's a crazy market out there right now. For whatever reason, in the last 2 weeks or so, we've seen a huge increase in the number of home sales that are actually running into multiple offers. I want to take a look at this over here, this graph right here. You can see that the number of under contract residential listings per day has risen pretty substantially. Now, this orange line on top is 2023. This shows how many homes are under contract on the market. And then the blue or purple line down below is for 2024. So you can see these graphs are actually very similar, right? It almost follows the same exact pattern here. But you can see that, if we go back to January 1st, we had 3,650 homes under contract at that time. And as of right now, we're sitting at 4,150. So there's been a huge climb in the number of homes going under contract over the last couple of months. And like I mentioned, it seems like there's more buyers coming out of the weeds. There's more people jumping into the market because we had this dip in interest rates over the last couple of months. I think people are getting more confident about interest rates. They're getting confident about rates coming down, and they're getting confident about the economy overall, right? Inflation's finally starting to cool. The stock market is at all-time highs right now, which is absolutely crazy. I would not have guessed that we'd be in this position if you asked me 3 months ago or 6 months ago. I actually think it's way overheated personally, but that's just my own personal opinion. I think we're due for a pullback on the stock market, but we'll have to wait and see, right? The market is rallying, and I think people just overall, there's a large consensus that people are confident. Economy is going to be okay. We're not going into a recession. Inflation is cooling, and that things are getting a little bit better. So we're gonna have to wait and see exactly what that means for all of us here. But I want to actually jump in and take a look one more. We're going to narrow down this data because, again, looking at the sales data, we're looking at all home types, all different areas, and all different price ranges. So I actually want to narrow this down and get a little bit more dialed in so we can really see what's happening in the price ranges and areas that people are most likely looking at, especially for you who's watching this video. Now, as we do that, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and reach out to me, call, text, or email anytime if I can help you in any way. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate here in Utah, I'd love to be your trusted real estate resource of choice. My team and I service the entire state, and we'd love to help you throughout that process. You can call me, text me, or email. My information's here on the screen, and you'll find it in the description box down below. So with that said, let's actually jump back in my screen here, and we're going to take a look at a more narrowed down set of data here. I've gone ahead and narrow this down for us. We've got a list price of at least 500,000 and at most 1.5 million. So we've got that, and then we've also got county is Davis, Utah, or Salt Lake. This basically covers the entire metro area. There are going to be some other areas like Tooele or Park City or even up north into Ogden that are not included in this data set. But I'd say that probably 90% of the people that I work with are looking in one of these 3 counties, and also most of you are looking in this price range. So this is going to kind of capture just what's happening in the market a little bit closer based on the data set that we have. So December 2023, 720 home sales compared to last year at 808. So home sales were down in December, and I do expect that January we're probably going to be under just slightly, right? January 2023, 586, and January 2024, 401. So I do think we'll probably close out the month maybe around 500 for the month of January. We'll have to wait and see, but sales are going to be down pretty substantially. Now, home prices in this criteria, the actual sales price is $620 of last year versus $630. So as we narrow this down, that number actually gets tighter. If you remember from the other data set that we looked at, the difference in these numbers was roughly $30,000. As we narrow up the criteria, it changes to only about $9,000 or $10,000, about $9,000 year over year for this data set. So we did see a pretty big change there for this right here. Actually, we're looking at, January 620, January of this year 629, and then December we're at 639, whereas December we're at 629. So actually, if you look at December, prices are down, and then if you look at January, prices are up. So it's kind of all over the place. You really have to be careful with how you interpret this data. Again, that leads to a median sales price to original listing price of 96% for December and 97% so far for January, which again is higher than what we saw last year. Last year were 95 and 93. So this is showing that the market is a little bit stronger and there's more people jumping into the market. February of last year, we had 813 home sales. I actually expect that we'll probably cross over 1,000 for the month of February going into this next month, just based on the activity that I'm seeing out there in the market. Like I said, 4 out of the last 5 offers I've made for clients have run into multiple offers, which is kind of crazy. I did not expect that because the last 6 months, it's really been a situation where if you make an offer on the home, you're pretty much the only offer and you've got a pretty good chance of negotiating a pretty good deal on it. But now that's changed. And when you get into multiple offer situation, people are always willing to pay a little bit more than the next guy. And that pushes prices up and causes homes to sell just a little bit quicker. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about this video and where you think the market is headed. I'd love to hear your opinions, and don't forget to reach out to me if I can be of assistance. I want to be your trusted real estate resource of choice. And with that said, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.